side. All righty, here we go. We'll be ready to start. Oh, women's course. Lane 1 is at the bottom of the screen, lane 8 up top. Women's 200-yard butterfly. Your national record, 154.37, set back in 2015. Courtney Harnish from York, Pennsylvania. 11 heats in total. This will be heat number 1. And we'll work through that heat momentarily as they stage them behind the block right now. You can see their names in the graphic on your screen. Once again, lane number 1 is at the bottom of your screen on the women's course. And on the men's course, it'll be the 200 fly and the championship and meet record set by Brendan Burns, 142.22 back in 2019. On the men's course, lane number 1 is at the top of your screen and lane 8 at the bottom of your screen. So heat number 1 for the women of 11 is in the water. Sophia Dorsch from Regional Y Western Connecticut is in lane number 3. Lane number 4 is Annie LeBold from South Family YMCA in Ohio. Ellie D. Kukeler from the Metropolitan YMCA of the Oranges in New Jersey is in lane number 5. Out first is Annie LeBold. She's at 27.54. And on the men's side, out of lane number 3 is Siddhant Vadakan from Wyckoff. Nate Holleran is in 4 from Columbia Northwest. Lane number 5, Jarek Lagameo from Cheshire. And in lane number 6, Mason Cienflone from Greater Susquehanna Valley in Pennsylvania. On the women's side, out first, Annie LeBold. She's still out, and she's at a 59.97. Annie from South Y in Kettering, Ohio. And over on the men's side, it was Mason Cienflone from Greater Somerset County at 25.60 out on that 50, moving up to the 100 mark. And on the women's side, they're moving up to the 150 mark. And on the men's side now, it's Siddhant Vadakan. Vadakan from Wyckoff. He's at 55.50 halfway through. LeBold's still your leader, but it's tightening up now with Sophia Dorsch from Regional Y Western Connecticut down here in the green cap. So on the men's side, right there in the center of the pool, looks like out of lane number 5, it's still Siddhant, or lane number 3, I'm sorry. Lane number 3 up there was Siddhant Vadakan. And on the women's side, finishing up Sophia Dorsch, she goes 209.63. Nice swim, nice comeback there on the last 50 for Sophia Dorsch. She's at 209.63. And men, we've got Vadakan from Wyckoff. He goes 156.83. Nice swim right there. He is your leader on the deck. In the pool right now, heat number 2 on the women's side, Bridget Dobb from Summit is in 2. Lane number 3, Emma Pitts from Hickory. Lane number 4, Kate Bakelar from Triangle. Lane number 5 is Mary Carl from Boyertown. Megan Dwyer's in 6 from Summit. And Natalie Johnson in 7 from Western Branch. Over on the men's side, in lane number 1, John Barton from Western North Carolina. Tristan Ronayne. Hey, Tommy from Ridley is in 2. Gus Hand from Lakeland Hills in 3. Liam Funk from Schrader's in 4. Mark Platnoff from Westport Weston in 5. Ryan Dant from Hickory In lane 6, hello Ross. Lane number 7, Andrew Sieber from Greensboro. And lane number 8, Will Pestricelli from Greater Somerset County. That'll be your lineup for heat number 2. And on the women's side right now, out in the lead, Bridget Dobb from Summit, New Jersey, down here in lane number 2. 200 yards of butterfly. And a special starter up there on the men's court, Cecil Gordon he's an Olympic. He started, I believe it was in Rio, started all the men's events. Remember what's happening in Rio. So Dobbs, she's out 134.00. Time to beat right now, 209.63. And that was Sophia Dorsch. And in the pool right now, on the men's side, heat 2. And on the women's side, Kate Baklar, she finishes up at 209.32, so that is your fastest time through 2 heats. On the women's side right now, in the water, Bridget Winkowitz from Lakeland Hills in 1, Mary Kupski. In lane number 2 from Wilkes-Barre, Ali McNamara from Westchester in 3, Abby Babel from Westfield in 4, Marina Klein from YMCA Northwest Louisiana in 5, Gardner Vinny from Greater Spartanburg in 6, Molly Foltz from Upper Mainline in 7, and Bella Corby in 8 from Upper Palmetto. We go out first at 28.40. And on the men's side, out first was Will Pestricelli up down here in lane number 8. Barely see him as he goes by. And he's still in the mix. He's now 4th. But first is Andrew Sieber. In lane number 7, he was right next to Pestricelli. And then John Barton up there in lane number 1. So Bevel's out 101.06. As we work our way through these 200 fly heats, 10 on the men's side, 11 on the women's side. And they're finishing up on the men's side, 155.14. Gus Hand from Lakeland Hills, your winner, 155.14 for Gus Hand. Dad did a trivia question on the first day. He did a great job. He got the answer right. This week out in the stands, those parents and spectators were 12 for 12 on the trivia. Absolutely amazing. Had a little fun up there every morning before the prelims get started. So here we go on the men's side. Aaron Lee in lane number 1, Alex Danielle 2. Ryan McFadden 3, Amir Tasker 4, Luke Ramsey 5, Brandon Calderon 6, Wiley Sykes 7, and Jack Hensley in 8. And finishing up on the women's side, it's Abby Babel. She goes 209.05. Now your fastest time. We are getting faster each heat here on the women's 2 fly. And on the men's side, Gus Hand, now your leader. Next up on the women's side, heat number 4, Natalie Hillebrecht in 1, Grace McBlain 2, Sydney Walbert 3, Maxine Camelone in 4, Jackie Bonavia in 5, Ava Shop-Bell in 6, Audrey Schroeder 7, and Braylon Wilson in lane number 8. Through the 100 on the men's side, Aaron Lee. Up there in lane number 1, Greater Monmouth, Jack Cascino coaches out there. Beautiful community up there in Red Bank, North Jersey Shore. Jack, just named our 2024 Joseph D. Rogers Award winner. McBlain out first on the women's side. So Lee still holding on at 124.01 up there in lane number 1 in heat 3 for the men. Down here, McBlain in lane number 2. You can see her the green cap on McBlain from the Ridley Rays. And there is Aaron Lee from Greater Monmouth. He goes 154.90. Now your new leader on the deck. Great swim. Next up on the men's side, heat number 4, Andrew Layton in lane 1, Devin Council 2, Andy Jiang 3, Kevin Hugh 4, Michael Adams 5 from the Wilton Wahoos, Jed Ritchie 6, and Austin Walt 7 from the Wilton Wahoos, and Caden Stratton in lane number 8 from Greater Spartanburg. McBlain still your leader on the women's side. He's 133 through the 150. 133.21. Field trying to move up on her down here in lane number 1. Natalie Hilbrecht from Greater Somerset County. She's 13 years old. Might see her later on tonight in that D final if she can win this heat. Real good swim right there for the 13-year-old. And, yep, Natalie Hilbrecht, she goes 2:08.67 and now has your top time on the deck. Natalie Hilbrecht from Greater Somerset County. And over on the men's side, just fixing, I believe, one of the touch pads and getting ready, and the women will be going in, and then the men will get in there. And on the women's side, heat number 5 in the water. Charlotte Trenchaline is in 1. Renee Liu in 2. Anna Bucher 3. Savannah Bush 4. Alicia Kelly in 5. Sarah Wells in 6. Lauren Hannes in 7. And Holly Lenars in 8. Top time so far on the women's side, 2:08.67. Natalie Hilbrecht, 13 years old from Greater Somerset County, out of heat number 4. On the men's side, your top time is 1:54.90 for Aaron Lee. Keep your eye on Lisa Kelly out there in lane number 5 on the women's side. Elise out in 27.81, coming back to touch at the 100. And Kevin Yu was out first on the men's side, 25.45. Yu from the YMCA Central Maryland. And Elisa Kelly, still your leader at the 100. She's from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Now it's Austin Walt from the Wilton Wahoos down here in lane number 7. He's at 54.11 for the big guy from Wilton, Connecticut, Austin Walt. Time to beat there is 1:54.90. Kelly, still your leader, but the field is tightening up. And now Alyssa Kelly at 1:33. We'll wait till that board comes up a little bit better. Now it's Ritchie on the men's side, followed by Walt, Jed Ritchie. Jed Ritchie from Chambersburg. So Walt, Ritchie, and up there in lane number 1, Andrew Layton from Bath. And on the women's side, having a little bit of scoreboard difficulty here. And it will be Andrew Layton. He goes 1:55.26. 1:55.26 for Layton. And on the women's side, Charlotte Trenchaline took that last heat. I think it was a 2. I'm not sure what the time was, but we'll get that in a few minutes. Here we go. On the men's side, we have Clayton Lohman from La Crosse in 1. Jackson Hong in 2, Caden Wong in 3, Alex Chan in 4, Will Caponen in 5, Evan Spagnoletti in 6, Xander Williams in 7, and Will Ballard in 8. On the women's side, heat number 6 in the water, Diana Ismailova in 1, Maddie Fox 2, Emma Ten Hunfeld 3, Sophie Milhomans in 4, Emmy Dorico in 5, Mary Gillen in 6, Corinne Everly in 7, and Lily Baumgartner in lane 8. The men's side, Will Caponen from Lakeland Hills. He's out in 24.98. And on the women's side, Emmy Dorico was out in 27.28. Still Dorico, she's 59.00. That's your fastest time going out. Emmy Dorico from Farmington Family Y. Over on the men's side, Will Kilponen out 53.71. Your fastest time going out for Kilponen from Lakeland Hills. What did it take to get into the C final on the women's side? 206.16. B final last year, 204.54. And the A final on the women's side last year, 203.36. Kilponen still your leader on the men's side. Dorico now surrounded by Tim Hunfeld, Mahomans, Gillen. But here comes Ten Hunfeld from Kettering, Ohio. And here's a 207.02. That'll be your fastest time on the women's side by Lily Baumgartner up in lane number 8, 207.02. And on the men's side, that was your fastest time by Kilponen. A nice swim right there. On the women's side, heat 7 in the water. Over on the men's side, heat number 6 in the water. Braden Myers in 1, Jack Humbert 2, Carson Reisner 3, Greg Ukivid in 4, Chase Grissy in 5, Connor Marshall 6, Nick Green 7, and Johnny Edwards in lane number 8. On the women's side, heat 7, Ava Ten Hunfeld in 1, Yasmin Kwong in 2, Erica Maltzy 3, Maya Freeman in 4, Jimena Mazan Grande in 5, Anna Kilponen in 6, Bella Hopp in 7, and Samantha Clifford in lane number 8. Over on the men's side, to get into the C final, you had to go 154.34 last year. Last year in the B final, you had to go 152.79 to get in. And to get back to that championship final last year, 151.16 was the time. We'll see where we are this year, trying to get back to those C, B, and A finals. Samantha Clifford out in 59.18. Pretty good out right there for Clifford up there in lane number 8. Time to beat 207.22. On the men's side, Johnny Edwards, your leader from Greensboro at 123.30. He's down here in lane number 8. Trying to get into that 152 mark or 151 if we can. It won't be, but we were looking at that. Trying to get below there. And where will we be? It will be Connor Marshall at 154.19. A pretty good swim for Connor Marshall from Piedmont. Next up on the men's side is heat number 7. And finishing up here on the women's side, time to beat 207.22, and we've got a 205.42 on the board. That is your fastest time on the women's side so far through 7 heats. 205 by Samantha Clifford from Birmingham. In the water for the men, heat number 7, Will Trotman, Wilton Family Y Wahoos. In lane number 1, Braden Todd in 2, Archer Jovanovic in Jankoviak in lane 3. I'm sorry, Archer, for that pronunciation. You need to slow down a little bit. Connor Mangan in lane number 4 for Central Bucks. Nolan Dietz for Illinois Valley in lane 5. Kyle Silverstein, Pal Crosley in lane 6 to Tiger Sharks. Harrison Lee in 7 for Wyckoff. A.J. Gomez for Pal Crosley, the Tiger Sharks in lane number 8. Over on the women's side, this is heat number 8. Taylor Goodwin in 1, Sophia Yusuf in 2, Hope Ivanovic in 3, Lily Turco 4, Ava Knopf-Snyder in 5, Hayden Bailey 6, Addie Hersbrunner in 7, and Cambria Jewett in lane number 8. So through 150 on the men's side, it's Nolan Dietz from Illinois Valley. He's at 121.43. That's our fastest 150 split. Looking to try to get in that 151 or 150 mark. And he'll be above that. We're just above that. That's your fastest time so far, 152. On the men's side, 27 for Nolan Dietz from Illinois Valley. Great swim. And through on the women's side, Cambria Jewett up there in lane number 8, 131.96. On the men's side, first of 3 circle-seated heats, heat number 8 in the water. Meyer Krieger in 1, Nolan Miller in 2, John Rusnock in 3, your top seed here. Finished 4th last year, 9th in the 100 fly. Charlie Renard is in 4. Derek Estep, 14th in the 2 fly, is in 5. Damian Sartoriski in lane number 6 was 8th last year. Eli Edmondson, 32nd last year. On the women's side, Cambria Jewett goes 204.33, and she is your leader on the deck unofficially before we get into the circle seeds. Great swim by Cambria Jewett from Nashua, New Hampshire. And on the men's side, Eli Edmondson, 32nd last year, is in 7, and Chase Adams is in lane number 8. On the women's side, first of our 3 circle-seated heats, heat number 9. Sarah Rodriguez, 29th last year, is in lane number 1. She's had a good week, 2nd in the 2 back, 3rd in the 100 back. Sydney Lillis, 25th in this event last year. She'll be a Bowden Bear coming up this fall. From the Wilton Wahoos, Megan Unruh in lane 3, 8th last year, 11th in the 2 IM. Lizzie Washburn is our runner-up last year, 12th in the 100 fly this week. She's in 4, lane number 5. Billy Sherrod, 7th last year in this event. Lane number 6, Maddie McLaughlin. She won the 500 last night. Lane number 7, Peyton Watson from Chippewa Valley. And lane number 8, Serena Dickey from Lakeland Hills, 14 years old. On the men's side, through the 150 was Damian Sartoriski. Charlie Renard is your winner at 149.72. Charlie Renard, great swim. 149.72 from Greater Monmouth. Jack Cascino, you saw him vertical leap of about a ½ inch. And on the women's side, now your leader, Sarah Rodriguez, 130.02. Down here in lane number 1. And on the men's side, second of our 3 circle-seated heats, heat number 9 in the water. Kenneth Barnacle in 1, Jack Drake 2, Jared Payne 3, Justin Dostal, 5th last year in this event. He's in lane 4. Brody Lapine, 20th in the 100 fly. He's in 5. Rowan Amon in 6, Isaac Carr in 7, and Hugo Ortega in lane number 8. Time to beat, 149. Charlie Renard. And on the women's side, there you go. You had Unruh finishing strong at 203.15, followed by Lillis at 203.23. Great swim for Sid. So 203.15, a leader on the deck, Megan Unruh. That's your first fastest time. Second fastest time now is Sydney Lillis from the Wilton Wahoos. And over on the men's side, we'll have, let's introduce the women's side, second of our 3 circle-seated heats in the water. Summer Jones in 1, Emma Villou in 2, Olivia Herbert in 3, 11th last year. Emily Thompson was our champion last year. She won the 4 IM and the 2 IM this week so far. Lane number 5, Leah Shackley, has won the 2 back, 1 back, and 100 fly, all in record time. She's in 5. Jenna Nawaswiak in 6. Caitlin Bauer in 7. Juliana Tyler in lane number 8. Out first, Leah Shackley in 25.96. Keep our eye on the championship record, which she was under national record pace. And on the men's side, finish it up, that was Roman Emmon. Nice swim right there. That Time went by me too quickly from Springfield, Illinois. And on the men's side, final heat in. Heat 10, third of our 3 Circle City heats. Nehemiah Ree in 1, Woody Kupski in 2, Michael Ferrioli in 3, Micah Davis, 5th in 100 fly in 4. Jack Mills in 5, 14th last year. Sebastian Aguilar, 21st in the 100 fly, is in 6. Tommy Mao in 7, and Itay Ben Joseph in 8. We are under national record pace for Leah Shackley. So far, 3 for 3 this week. 100 back, 200 back, 100 fly. Here comes Shackley out of Heat 10. Seated second coming in from Blair Regional. 155, 75. That's your lead time. That's a great time. As we know, the national record 154.37. Leah seemed to shut it down just a little bit. And on the men's side, your final heat in. Looks like Micah Davis right there. As we know, he's 15 years old from St. Cloud. And on the women's side, here comes your final heat. Lily Zippel in 1, Erin Richards 2, Megan Tiernan 3. Top seed Sydney Gring. She was 4th last year in this event, 2nd in the 2 free, 2nd in the 2 IM this week. Avery Kudlak from Lehigh is in 5, 10th last year in this event. Elodie Mitchell in 6, Sarah McGann 7, and Liza Osada in lane number 8. And on the men's side now, finishing up. That'll be Micah Davis going 147.83. We'll have those results out momentarily. Keep your eye on our Meet Mobile. And we'll transition now over into the men's 100 freestyle on the men's course. Great swim there by Micah Davis. And on the women's side, we'll finish up the 2 fly. Top time so far, 155.75. Emily Thompson. Sydney Gring out in 55.72. We know Gring, 4th last year, 4th in the 100 fly this week, 2nd in the 2 free, 2nd in the 2 IM. So Gring having a great meet. Avery Kudlak right next to her at a 56.69 as they work their way up to the 150. Over to men's side. 22 heats of the 100 free, your championship and national record. Jack Alexi set back in 2019 from Somerset Hills. Heat number 1 of 22 now in the water. Lane number 3, Patrick Bagansky. Lane number 4, Kasper Buniwaski. Lane number 5, Chase Easton. Let's try that Kasper Buniowiski. How's that? I'm sticking with it. And on the women's side, 158.12. Oh, good swim right there for Sydney Gring at 158.12. She'll be seated second tonight. And here we go on the women's side. On the 100 freestyle championship meet record and national record, Anna Mosch, 47.76, Greater Somerset County, set last year. Over on the men's side, that's Kasper Buniowiski, 20. He's 47.29, so he is your leader on the deck through 1 heat. On the women's side, lane number 1, a heat 1 of 17, Casey Freeman. Isabel Sarvis is in 2. Ryan's in 3, Sanders in 4, Jones in 5, Paschholk in 6, Zerbel 7, and Falcomer will be in lane number 8. Heat number 2 of 22 on the men's side. Bean in 1, Shu 2, Schaefer 3, Crawl 4, Ivanov 5, Kennedy 6, Lumen 7, and Sosnowski in lane number 8. Kennedy out first on the men's side, 22.78. All right, as we work our way through, I'll just be saying the last names. I don't have as much time, just trying to keep up with these times and these young athletes. They're doing a great job. Last day, fast day. Heat 1 in the water for the women. And finishing up on the men's side, that is Andrew Sosnowski. He goes 47.52 from Farmington Family. Top time remains with Bunioski, 47-29 out of Heat 1. Heat 3 for the men in the water. Heinrichsen 1, Brostowitz 2, Barwick 3, Turley 4, James 5, Dwyer 6, Gorzenioski in 7, and Higginbotham in 8. We're on the women's side, heat number 1 finishing up. Volkomer was your leader halfway there, and it is Elise Paschholk at 53.62 out of lane 6. Paschholk from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Heat number 2, staging for the women, Slavinsky 1, Peter Tonez in 2, Ponterera in 3, Scarabotolo in 4, Ciaz 5, Brick Hall 6, Little 7, and Miller in 8. On the men's side, 47.66. Thomas James, 47.66 from Greensboro. Still your leader, Bunioski from Somerset County, 47.29. Heat number 2 in the water for the women. Heat number 4 for the men coming up. Schmidt in 1, Faulkner 2, Satterfield 3. Akel-Belkov in 4, Fife in 5, Rentala in 6, Thompson 7, and Powers in 8. Scarabotolio, your leader out of lane number 4 on the women's side. Scarabotolo still leading on the women's side. Out first on the men's side, Mikhail Rentala. And it will be Francesca Scarabotolo. She goes 52.82. That is your lead time on the deck now. 52.85. Next up, and then on the men's side, it's Mikhail Rentala, 47.28. Now your leader. On the women's side, heat number 3 in the water. Kim in 1, Estensis 2, Doors 3, Gamble 4, Zuvalakis in 5, Webster 6, Ismailova in 7, and Round in 8. On the men's side, Wakefield in 1, Yost 2, Houle 3, Bird 4, Barnard 5, Hagenauer 6, Brunn 7, and Weiss in 8. That's heat 5 for the men, heat 3 for the women. 52.85, your lead time for Scarabotolo. On the women's side and on the men's side, it's Mikhail Rentala leading the way at 47.28 so far. Houle out first, 21.79 for Jonathan Houle. Pretty good split going out. On the women's side, Zoe Webster out in 25.30. Big swim right there on the men's side going on. So Zoe Webster goes 52.87. Now your second fastest time. Heat 4 on the women's side now staging. And on the men's side, Jonathan Houle, he goes 46.47. And he has your lead from Ridley on the men's side. Great swim by Jonathan. And on the women's side, in the water, Abel in 1, Heat 4, Lowrich in 2, Chu 3, Doge 4, Lacavera in 5, McAndrew 6, Schuster 7, and Schweikert in 8. And over on the men's side, Heat 6, Lane 1, McCuston in 1, Breika in 2, Gibbons 3, Richards 4, Voss 5, Swenson 6, Gelman in 7, Hilliard in 8. Doge out first on the women's side, 25.37. And on the men's side, Gibbons out at 22.47. 52.85 time to beat on the women's side. Scarabotolo has your lead time, and Houle on the men's side, 46.47 as your lead time. On the women's side, 53.85 for Lacavera. 53.25, my bad. And on the men's side, 46.90 for Patrick Gibbons. Well, I believe that's your second fastest time. And on the women's side, heat number 5 in the water. Adams in 1, Marco 2. Shesker 3, Fox 4, Dickinson 5. Del Rosario in 6, Riyadh 7, and Bender in 8. On the men's side, heat 7, Stainridge 1, Mark Beatty in 2. Forey, there's Forey. I got it right. Forey in 3, Booth in 4, Newcomb in 5, Carl 6, Korwinski in 7, and Batchelor in 8. Had a nice interview this morning with Tyler Forey. His mom, Victoria, got the question correct. So Tyler from Northwest North Carolina. And on the women's side, Callie Chesk, she goes 52.86. And on the men's side, Kai Batchelor going 47.07. That is your new lead time. Great swim right there by Kai, 52.86. Now your second fastest time for Kaylee Chesker. Heat 6 for the women in the water. Congratera in 1, Kennedy 2, Jones 3, Poliska in 4, Hankins 5, Wowell in 6, Gowetzky in 7, and Wolf in 8 on the men's side. Heat number 8 in the water. Farher in 1, Frank 2, Lily 3, McCleary's 4, Ordonez in 5, Moon 6, Reddy 7, and Council in 8. All right, now it's Colin Farher out first, 22.65 on the men's side. On the women's side, it was Sailor Wohl. She was 24.33 as they head for a home. Time to beat, 52.85 on the women's side. And there's a 52.59. Great swim by Catherine Kennedy from Greater Monmouth. 52.59. Now your lead time on the deck for Catherine Kennedy from Greater Monmouth. On the men's side, that's Colin Farrer. He goes 47.47. Great swim there from the young man from Madison Y. On the women's side, back in on heat 7, Duggan in 1, Meyer 2, Haas 3, Raines 4, Bogan 5, McFarland 6, Roberts 7, Blankenship in 8. And on the men's side, heat number 9, Wang 1, Petrosky 2, Hamilton 3, Islas 4, Wosner 5, Joregu in 6, Pilger in 7, Berkowitz in 8. So out first on the women's side is Isa Meyer. She was out 24.99. Joregu out in 22.04 on the men's side. Once again, at the bottom of your screen on the women's side is lane number 1. At the top of your screen on the men's side is lane number 1. And here we go, finishing up on the women's side. It'll be Meyer. She goes 52.27. Your new lead time on the deck. And on the men's side, that's Eddie Wang. He goes 46.76. Your new lead time on the men's side from Yoda, Eddie Wang. Nice swim. Up now in the women's course. Heat number 8, Ramsey 1, Kyer 2, Petrakis 3, Iman 4, Shields 5, Kavanaugh 6, Johnson 7, and Weems in 8. On the men's side, heat number 10, Osbison 1, Beeson 2, Beisch 3, Herring 4, Zeller 5, Maury 6, Patrick 7, and Detloff in 8. Out first on the women's side, Shields, she's 25.15. Zoe Shields, they're in lane number 5, and on the men's side, out first, down up there in lane number 1, Darren Osbos from Greater Somerset County. Real good swims going on here. Time to beat 52.27 on the women's side. It's 52.69 for Lauren Ramsey. Nice swim from Reading and Berks County. And on the men's side, Ezra Herring, he goes 47.92. Your top time remains with Eddie Wang at 46.76. And on the women's side, top times remains with Samantha Duggan, 52.27. Heat number 9 for the women in Fowler 1, Cohen 2, Schulich 3, Goger 4, Ben Zudenhout 5, Spetz 6, Chiver 7, and Vinny in 8. And on the men's side, here comes heat number 11, Howe 1, Carroll 2, Halliburton 3, Shao 4, Wolf 5, Guthrie 6, Wang 7, and Hoffman in 8. Blaze Hoffman down here in lane number 8, coached by Tim Ryan, John Foff from the great Central Bucks Y team. Now out 21.97 on the men's side. It was 24.90 for Amelia Gogger on the women's side. And women will be finishing up first, taking 52.27 or under that. Pretty close field right there. Nina Schulich, she goes 52.67. Nice swim for Nina. And over on the men's side, that will be Blaze Hoffman, blazing it at 46.47, your new leader on the deck, Blaze Hoffman. Great swim right there by Blaze, blazing it. And over on the women's side, Heat 10, Baker in 1, Kubiak 2, Rosakis in 3, Landers 4, Schwartz 5, Scott 6, Castro 7, Abzarni in 8. On the men's side, Heat 12 of 22, Johnson 1, Nis 2, Crowley 3, Pham 4, Kazmark 5, House 6, Lang 7, Wids in 8. Wids is out 22.39. On the women's side, it was 24.82 by Claire Schwartz. And finish it up on the women's side, it will be Claire Rosakis at 52.18. That is your new time, your new lead time. 52.18 on the men's side, 47.44 for Carter Lang. Nice swim by Carter. And on the women, now on the women's course, heat number 11 in the water. Pendakis in 1, Studenka in 2, Crawl 3, O'Leary 4, Frank 5, Kroger 6, McAndrews 7, and Potterella in 8. On the men's side, heat 13, Hetherington in 1, Latanzio in 2, Berger 3, Iturbe Casano 4, Smith 5, Ham 6, Lamb 7, and Nicoloso in 8. Out first on the women's side, 24.77, Katrina O'Leary. On the men's side, out first, Enrique Iturbe Casano at 22.35. Here we are, finishing up on the women's side. Time to beat, 52.18, Claire Rosakis. And we got a 51.85 from Carly Frank. Great swim from the young lady from Lakeland Hills. 51.85. And on the men's side, 46.84 for Enrique. 46.84. Now, great swim right there by Enrique Iturbe Casano. In the water on the women's side, heat number 12. Beeman 1, Bellissimo 2, Hinson 3, Ritter 4, Eckert 5, Holiday 6, Hatsis in 8, and Lunashina in 8, and Hatsis in 7. On the men's side, Smiley 1, Duncan 2, Lee 3, Boyd 4, Schoenfelder 5, Lee 6, Rising in 7, Silverstein in 8. That's heat 14. On the men's side, out first on the women's side, 24.90 for Sophia Bellissimo. London Rising out in 22.23 out of lane number 7 on the men's side in heat 14. And here we come on the women's side, 51.78. That is your new lead time for Mia Hatsis. And on the men's side, London Rising going 46.40. Great swim for London Rising, the 15-year-old. And on the women's side, in the water, A.K. Gillen 1, Arakilian in 2, Luttrell 3, Larson 4, Napier 5, Wang 6, Phillips 7, and Colburn in 8. That's heat 13. Next up on the men's side, Rockin' 1, heat 15. Rockin' 1, Connolly 2, Staybach 3, Massacrinas in 4, Vargas 5, Postma in 6, Skibbo in 7, and Spurl in 8. Over on the women's side, out first, Carly Larson. She's out 24.67. Pretty good swim. Time to beat on the women's side right now. 51.78. Mia Hatsis from Regional Y, Western Connecticut. Vargas out 22.56 on the men's side. That's Connor Vargas from Northwest North Carolina. And women now finishing up. And it will be Carly Larson going 51.52, your new lead time from Green Bay. And on the men's side finishing up, Connor Vargas go 46.94. Good swim for Connor. In the water on the women's side, heat number 14 of 17. Lee in 1, Foster 2, Latimer 3, Dickinson 4, Glass 5, Mesher 6, Laganelli in 7, and Lemler in 8. Time to beat 51.52. And over on the men's side, heat 16 in the water. Stoltz 1, Higgins 2, Barwick 3, Jordan 4, Gauthier 5, Wilkins 6, Kunzel in 7, and Lucas in lane number 8. And Kunzel's out. In lane 7, Glass out first on the women's side, 24.68. For Ella Glass from the YMCA of Northwest Louisiana. And the women will be finishing up here. Pretty good race right there, pretty even across the field. Too close to call for me, but the scoreboard says Isabel Lee going 51.85. Good swim for Isabel. Top time remains with Carly Larson. And on the men's side, Colin Jordan going 46.23. Your new top time. Greater Spartanburg, 46.23. Great swim right there. Colin Jordan. Next up on the women's side, first of our 3 circle-seated heats. Padilla in 1. This is heat 15. White Chertes in 2. Murray in 3. Mackenzie Headley in 4. She was 6th last year. Emily Way in 5. 12th last year. Truscott 6. Collins 7. And Williamson in lane number 8. And over on the men's side, there's White Chertes out in 24.10. That's your fastest out so far on the men's side. Gray in 1, Eichhut 2, Graziano 3, Strath 4, Sternke 5, Lorenz 6, Bates 7, and Dubek in 8. Lorenz out 21.51. That's your fastest time going out so far on the men's side. So here we go. First of our 3 circle-seated heats on the women's side, and it will be Mackenzie Headley going 50.90. Pretty good swim right there for Mackenzie Headley, the 16-year-old from Farmington Valley, Connecticut. And Sam Lorenz, he goes 45.02. Now your new lead time on the deck from Schrader. Great swim right there. On the women's side, heat 16, second of our 3 circle-seated heats, is now in the water. Bull in 1, Wilson in 2, Logan in 3. Alexa Fulton, 3rd last year in this event, 3rd in the 50 free last night. She's in 4. Morgan Thomas, 9th last year in this event, in 5. Lily Robinson in 6, Hobjan in 7, and Havis in 8. Over on the men's side, heat number 18 in the water. Blake in 1, Tack 2, Francis 3, Hogan 4, Green 5, Coogan Russell 6, Robitas in 7, and Williams in lane number 8. So keep your eye on lane number 4. That's Alexa Fulton, 3rd last year in this event. Also there in lane 5, Morgan Thomas, 9th last year. And on the men's side, out first with 21.34 was Connor Hogan, and it will be Morgan Thomas going 49.74, takes the lead on the deck unofficially. Great swim from Morgan Thomas. And on the men's side, that's Connor Hogan, 45.21. Fastest time still with Sam Lorenz on the men's side of 45.02. Final heat coming up for the women, heat 17 of 17, 3rd of our 3 circle-seated heats. Lane number 1, Winicki. 2 is Pan. 3, Lawrence. 4, our national record holder. She was and defending champion. She won the 200 this week. Anna Mosch is there. Cadence Vincent, 14th last year, is in lane 5. Cudlack in 6, Rourke in 7, and Art in 8. Over on the men's side, heat number 19 in the water. Kavanaugh in 1, Kudafires 2, Muller 3, Watkins 4, Drake 5, Shoes 6. Paleokrasis in 7 and Wade in 8. Shoe is out 21.95. And on the women's side, it was Vincent. She was out 23.75. And just notice Anna Mosch not in the pool. So defending champion not swimming this morning. 49.89 for Vincent. I think that will be unofficially your second fastest time. So we are through the women's heats. On the men's side, 45.82 for Jeremy Muller. Good swim. Coming up for the women, 100 yards of breaststroke. Championship record, 1:00:24. Megan Small set back in 2016 from York. National record, 59:18. Latia Sims. On the men's side, we're staging up now for the first of our 3 circle-seated heats. Heat number 1 for the women, also being staged in the breaststroke. And on the men's side, first of our 3 circle-seated heats in the water. Miller in 1, Kennedy 2, Kressler 3. Rob Alexi is in 4, 5th last year in this event. He was 5th in the 2 free this week. Garrett Gould, he was 38th last year in this event. He's in lane number 5. He was 3rd in the 200 fly this week, 8th in the 50 free last night. David Mayer is in 6, Kraft in 7, Zartorsky in lane number 8. Out first, Rob Alexi, 21:03. That's your fastest out so far. So Alexi out in 21:03. We'll see where we go. As I mentioned, it was 46:25 to the C final, 45:89 to the B final, 45:37 to the A final last year. And in first, Rob Alexi going 44:00. Big swim right there for Rob Alexi. He's heading off the cow next year. And on the women's side, in the water, looks like Leah Hadley from Upper Palmetto in 4. Oh, lost my screen. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I have lost my screen. So we'll be back here momentarily once that comes back up. I'll turn it over to Bruce because I have no screen. We have some technical difficulties here. Although maybe I have one over here. I'm going to shift over a little bit. It's not going to help. Got it. Not my screen, but I got you.
couple reminders. We wish you a Good Friday today for our Christian friends. There will be a Good Friday observance, a drop-in event, 11:30 to 1 in the Event Center, Room 1. So a Good Friday observance for those today that would like to participate between 11:30 and 1. It is drop-in in the Event Center, Room 1. Reminder, Coach of the Meat Ballots will close at noon. Coach of the Meat Ballots will close at noon today. Thank you. Coaches and swimmers, we will take a 15-minute break following the breaststroke events. Before the relay, 15-minute break. Another break after the relays, 15-minute break after the relays.
Streaming live again from Greensboro. Apologize for that technical difficulty. No worries though. I think I'll be able to catch up here. So on the men's side, looks like heat number 4 in the water. And on the women's side, heat number 6 in the water. And they're halfway through there. With Kiss out in 30.5. One. So we've got Newman in 1 on the women's side. Meja in 2, Livingston 3, Hine 4, McRoberts 5, Keller 6, Warzinski in 7, and Kiss in lane number 8. And over on the men's side, it is heat 4 in with Giselbach in 1, Caceres 2, Johnson 3, Chang 4, Chu 5, Poag 6, Verb 7, and Earls in 8. Finishing up on the women's side, that's Kiss. Hester Kiss with a 105.73. Pretty good swim right there. I do not have the lead times so far, so I'm not going to be able to give those to you. Heat number 7 coming up on the women's side. Jack Poag goes 1:00.99. YMCA Sumter. Pretty good swim right there. And here we go back with the women on heat 7. McKierney in 1, Dolan 2, Jones 3, Ganger 4, Pseudo 5, McGinnis in 6, Smith 7, and Speakman in lane number 8. And there's your lineup for heat number 5 of the men's course. On the men's course for the 100 breast, McEnroe in 1, Lumen 2, Peterson 3, Tao 4, Franklin 5, Quigley 6, Kukovecki in 7, and Tith in 8. Heat number 5 of 20 on the men's side, and heat number 7 of 17 on the women's side. All righty, Lumen out in 27.51 on the men's side. Pretty good swim from Rapid Area, Nicholas Lumen. On the women's side, it was Brianna Smith from Yoda out in 30.87 as they head for home. So Nicholas Lumen up there in lane number 2. Once again, lane number 1 at the top of your screen on the men's course, lane number 1 at the bottom of your screen on the women's course. And on the women's course, it's Brianna Smith at 106.13. And finishing up on the men's side, That's Nicholas Lumen at 58.86. Pretty good time right there by Nicholas from a rapid area. 58.86. And on the women's side, looks like Kiss at 105.73 on my scoreboard is your leader, and could be Nicholas Lumen on from rapid area. So in the water on the women's side, heat number 8. Fleener in 1, Marino 2, Robinson 3, Wynn 4, Rizzuto 5, Lanzel 6, Thomas 7, Ben Zudenhout, that's Clarissa Ben Zudenhout in lane number 8 at the top of your screen. And on the men's side, it's Ledbetter in 1, Regan, Bobby Regan in lane number 2, Sadowski 3, Colin Coe in 4, Lamb 5, Torres 6, Vargas 7, and Allen in lane number 8. So Colin Coe was out 27.42 on the men, and on the women's side, Mira Marino was out in 31.16, and they'll be finishing up on the women's side. Time to beat on the women's side, 105.73 by Esther Kiss. And there's a pretty good time at 106.92 by Mia Marino. And on the men's side, 58.80. That could be your new lead time, Colin Coe. Great swim from Montclair, New Jersey. A great Y that is. I think that's Buddy Evans' Y. Great CEO. And a Philly guy. In the water now, heat number 9 of 17 on the women's side. Hassett in 1, Road 2, Carmella 3, Zierjek 4, Switalski in 5, Weems 6, Hoppin 7, and Dickman in 8. On the men's side, Christie in 1, Rowan 2, Wagner 3, Saunders 4, Sternecki in 5, Beverini in 6, Wang 7, and Stefanowicz in lane number 8. Switalski is out first. On the women's side, 31.11. Saunders out first on the men's side, 27.89. Heat 7 in the water for the men, heat number 9 for the women. 20 heats in total for the men, 17 heats for the women. Then we're going to those 4 free relays. We are, I believe, taking a 15-minute break after the breaststroke events before we get into the relays. And on the women's side, there's Nadia Switalski going 105.75. Only 2 100s behind Esther Kiss. Great swim for Switalski. And on the men's side, that's Milo Stefanowicz at 59.58. So Stefanowicz from Greater Monmouth takes heat 7. Next up on the women's side, heat number 10. Actually, on the men's side, let's go with heat number 8. Min in 1, McMasters 2, Chan 3, Waltz 4, Rispin 5, Jones 6, Frendoza 7, and Singh in lane number 8. Over on the women's side, heat number 10. Romberg in 1, Robinson 2, Davies 3, Eckerstrom 4, Lau 5, Zenny 6, Haas 7, and Tate in 8. On the men's side, Rocco Rispin, he's out 27.85, just ahead of Jones. And on the women's side, the fastest start was Ava Haas up there in lane 7. Got 0.69 and 30.71 going out for Lauren Zenny. Here come the men. They're finishing up. 58.80, your time to beat. Colin Coe. Rocco Rispin, he goes 59.31. So your time to beat so far, 58.80 for Colin Coe. Next up on the men's side, heat number 9, Mahoney 1, Dawasriat 2, Stevens 3, Lou 4, Meyer 5, Newcomb 6, Carlton 7, and Trustin in lane number 8. Finishing up on the women's side, Zoe Davis, she goes 105.26. Now your leader on the deck, 105.26 for Zoe Davis from Lakeland Hills, your new leader on the deck. Heat 11, now staging for the women. Marco in 1, Wagner 2, Poliska 3, Meyer 4, Miller 5, Bendel 6, Neem 6, 7, Cadigan in 8. Heat 9 in the water. At the 50, it was Joey Meyer, 27:58. Time to beat on the men's side. Colin Coe at 58:80. On the women's side, 30.66 for Miller going out. And on the men's side, finishing up 59:17, Joey Meyer. Nice swim by Joey Meyer from Reading and Berks County. Next up on the men's side, Wang in 1, Stenk in 2, Hartzell 3, Akers 4, Crawl 5, Hillebrush 6, Gaylord 7, and Jones in 8. This will be heat 10 of 20 on the men's side. In the water on the women's side, now finishing up. That's Elisa Bendel, 105.49. Good time right there. We've got several 105s. Bunch of them on that heat, 4 of them. Added to the 3 or 4 others before that. 105s on the women's side. Eddie Wangi's out in 27.47 on the men's side. In the water on the women's side, heat 12. Chow 1, Go 2. Mythquall 3, Smith 4, who's 7, Palmer 6, Rissa 7, and Bogan in 8. So your time to beat right now on the women's side, Zoe Davis, 105.36. On the men's side, Colin Coe, 58.80. And on the men's side, Eddie Wang goes 58.78. Your new leader on the deck. Great swim for the Yoda guy. Out of lane number 1, Eddie Wang, your new leader by 2 100ths over Colin Coe. And on the men's side, heat number 11 in, a Wosner in 1, Tack 2, Kreidelball 3, Warner 4, Hepburn 5, Phillips 6, Volpe 7, and Kojic in 8. Finishing up on the women's side in heat 12, into the wall, it's 105.86. Another good swim right there, tied between Smith and who. Tack out first on the men's side with the 27.56. Next up on the women's side, Dini in heat 13, Dini 1, Sanders 2, Barton 3, Riley 4, Gal 5. That's Emily. Zippel 6, Elena, McQueen 7, and Gal in 8. Finishing up on the men's side, early leader was Evan Tack. And it will be Evan Tack at 58.69. Now your new leader, Evan Tack from Birmingham, Michigan, 58.69. New leader on the deck unofficially. Sanders out first on the women's side, 30.48. Good out for Casey Sanders from Farmington family. Up on the men's side now. Got heat 12 of 20. Roman in 1. Leg Rimas in 2. Lore 3. Strath 4, Henry 5, Healy 6, Golden 7, and Christensen in 8. And on the women's side, here comes heat 13, finishing up down here in lane 2. Still looks like Sanders, and it will be Sanders. She goes 105.43. Still your leader, Zoe Davis at 105.26. Unofficially on the deck. Strath out first on the men's side, 26.94 from Schrader, Wisconsin. Coach Dave, very good coaching this year, bringing those Schrader kids in from Milwaukee, and they're doing an outstanding job here, these young athletes here at YMCA. And they're finishing up on the men's side. Heat 14 in for the women. McAlpine in 1, Hunt 2, Seas 3, Vilo 4, Francis 5, Fisher 6, Bradley 7, and Herbert in 8. That's Julia. And it's Aiden Strath at 58.75. Still your time to beat. Evan Tack, 58.69. There's Julia Herbert out 29.94. That's your fastest out so far on the women's side, just before we get to the circle seated heats. Great swim by Herbert. And heat 13 in for the men. Wu in 1, Chow 2, Young 3, Ivanov 4, Aaron's 5, Bean 6, Sarvas in 7, and Impens in 8. We'll keep an eye on these women as they try to chase down that 105.26 time. That's the time to beat. And there's a 103.90 for Fran Hunt. Great swim for Fran Hunt from Boise. 103.90 going into your circle seeds. Great swim right there. Herbert was second at 104.06. And on the men's side, out first was Justin Wu. Up there in lane number 1, still your leader, 27.46, time to beat. Evan Tack at 58.69. And it will be 58.16. Great swim for Justin Wu from Westport Weston, Connecticut, Gold Coast. Nice swim there, Justin. And on the women's side, first of our 3 circle-seeded heats in the water. Blenard in 1, Thomas 2, Berlin 3, Constable 7th in the 2 breast. She's our top seed in this heat. In lane 4, Franklin in 5. She was 4th last year. Malgan in 6, Augustine 7, and Nino in 8. And over on the men's side, heat 14 in the water. Keenan 1, Lukens 2, Smith 3, Masneri in 4, Morgan 6, Dinesh 6. Morgan in 5, Dinesh in 6, Paul Payal in 7, and Platt in 8. Dinesh out in 27.60. And on the women's side, it was Constable out in 29.01. That was your fastest time going out so far. Constable, Emily Constable, she was 7 a.m. Peyton Scott's in 5/8 last year. Sarah Zierjak, she won the 200 breast the other night. She's in lane 6. Grace Hunt in 7, and Byers in 8. On the men's side, heat 15 in the water. Nikolai in 1, Young 2, Schoenfelder 3, Apostle in 4, Dentino 5, Cat 6, Wells 7, and Hang in 8. Out first was Tori Brostowitz, 29.17. Katz out first on the men's side. Noah Katz. He was out 27.03. Time to beat on the men's side so far, 58.16. Justin Wu. On the women's side, 102.33. Emily Constable. Here we go on the women's side. It will be a 102.14. Tori Brostowitz, now your leader, unofficially on the deck. Great swim for the young lady from Schrader. Schrader putting it down here in the breaststrokes. Kai Hang at 57.89 on the men's side. Great swim right there, 57.89 for Kai Hang out of Upper Perky Omen. He is now your leader unofficially on the deck. In the water, second of our final heat, 17, third of our 3 circle-seeded heats. Kirby in 1, Brierly 2, Sharma 3, Mackenzie Headley, a defending champion, is in lane number 4. Angie Coe, she won the 50 free last night, second in the 2 IM, third in the 100 fly this week. She's in 5. Lavarini's in 6, Betancourt 7, and Welsh in 8. Out first, Angie Coe, 28.60. That's your fastest out so far. Under the national record pace, Angie Coe. Latchall. Let's see where we are on the men's side. Keys in 1, Gilmore 2, Wong 3, Mascarenas 4, Fenton 5, Kudafire 6, Lee 7, and Latchclaw in 8. Here we'll give an eye on Angie Coe. 101.43 for Angie Coe. That'll be your top qualifier going in tonight unofficially. Great swim, and they'll take a break on the women's course. And on the men's side, Jake Keys, he goes 57.81. So Jake Keys, now your leader from the Friendship YMCA, 57.81. That's your top time through 16 heats. Great swim, and here we go on the men's side, heat 17 in. Isaac Ganger in 1, Connor Johnson 2, Zan Ekelbevkov in 3, Tyler McGee in 4, PJ Gauthier in 5, Joe Wader in 6, Clayton Lohman in 7, Caden Fada in lane number 8. Lane number 1 at the top of your screen, lane number 8 at the bottom of your screen on the men's course. Top time so far, Jake Keys from the Friendship Y, 51.81. There's Wader out in a 26.87. Joe Wader, from Birmingham, Michigan. And here these guys finish up. Looks like out of lane 4. Looks like Tyler McGeehan. And it will be McGeehan at 57:54. That is your new lead time on the deck. Tyler McGeehan, 57:54 for Lakeland Hills. Now up, first of our 3 circle-seated heats. Heat number 18, now in the water. James Lombardi, 23rd last year. He's in 1. Lane number 2, Carter Mao, 68th last year. Lane number 3, Will Parker, 28th last year. His 3rd seed coming in was 60th last year. That's Max Moore, who was 5th in the 200 breast this week. Angus McDonald's in lane number 5, 3rd in the 200 breast this week. Lane number 6 is Mason Green, 30th last year. Lane number 7, 45th last year, is Gregory Lynn, and then William Fanning in lane number 8. Max Moore out first, 26:33. He was 5th in the 2 breast. And as these guys move up, lane 1 at the top of your screen, down there in the center of the pool, lane number 4, Max Moore from Piedmont. He was 60th in this event last year. He's going to be all the way back. He is a 56:29. Now your leader on the deck unofficially. It took a 56:39 to get to the A final last year, 56:81 to the B final, 57:13 to the C final last year. And now staging on the blocks, heat number 19, second of our 3 circle-seated heats on the men's side. Out of lane number 1, Jack Smith, 21st last year, 6th in the 200 breast this week. Kalen Ambar, he was 12th in this event last year, 2nd in the 200 breast this week. He's in 2. Lane number 3, John Coletta, 36th last year, 10th in the 2 breast this week. Lane number 4, second seed coming in, 6th last year, 4th in the 200 breast this week. Ian Fournier's in 5. He was 34th last year. Max Ayers, 6. Max Connolly, 61st last year, 12th in the 200 breast this week. He's in 7. And Drew Garth Hoffner is in lane number 8, 9th in the 2 breast this week. Out first was Luke Vickers at 26:10. Vickers from Jackson Community. Out just a little bit quicker than Max Moore. So here comes Luke. It's going to be, looks like it's Fournier. And it will be in Fournier going 55:46. That is your new lead time on the deck, Kennebec Valley. 55:46 for Ian Fournier. Great second 50 there. And your final heat, heat number 20, third of our 3 circle-seated heats in the water. Lane number 1, Patrick McKillop, 131st last year, 18th in the 2 breast this week. Mark Brown is in 2. He was 51st last week. Lane number 3 is Alex Bauer, 72nd last year, 7th in the 2 breast this week. Ethan Schwab, our top seed, was 2nd last year, 1st in the 200 breast, 4th in the 2 IM this week. Aaron Lee, 22nd last year, is in 5. Alexander Kalaharis, 9th last year, 11th in the 2 breast, is in 6. Daniel Siong, 14th in the 2 breast this week. 8th, Elaine number 8 is Nick Partridge, 24th last year, and 19th in the 2 breast this week. Out first was Ethan Schwab, your fastest time going out so far, 25:58. Max McHugh holds this record, as we know. McHugh, an NCAA champion in this event. So Schwab, he goes 54:45. Nice swim by Ethan Schwab. He'll be off to Michigan this fall, and he will be seated first tonight. Great swim. We're going to take a 15-minute break. We'll be back with the men's 400 freestyle momentarily. Once again, I'm Bob McDowell, and we're streaming live here from the Greensboro Aquatic Center. We'll be back here shortly with those relays. Quick break here. Thank you again for tuning in. We take it live at the 2023 YMCA Short Course Nationals Centennial Celebration. I'm Bob McDowell. We'll be back here for our relays in about 10 minutes. Tune back in.
Preliminary results of the 505 women's 100 are Breaststroke. The final second alternate, Alexa Warsinski, first alternate by the Hatchet. The final, Kier Carmella, Brace Curtis, Scout McQueen, Riley Golden, Beth Bradley, Reese Riley, Amy Hood, and Hadar Miller. The final, C-final second alternate, Jane Brierly, Allison Kuko, first alternate. C-final, Casey Sanders, Ray Wells, Pierce Francis, Zoe Bailey, Evan Glitter, Tommy Activiello, Caroline Myers, and Grace Hall. Tonight's D-final, Joanna Kessler, Delaney Franklin, Amelia Betancourt, Max Thomas, Jasmine Weston, Julia Herbert, Fran Hunt, Gianna Ballerini, and Mackenzie Henry, top qualifier in the final. Tonight's A-final, Heather Ross, Kate Scott, Sarah Sergio, Alana Berlin, Megan Charlotte, Emily Constable, Tori Crosswoods, and your top qualifier, Angie Coe, time of 101.43. Time is 10:29. Roses and Silvers, 30 minutes to declare your contention. On the women's court, are you ready for some preliminaries within 507 women's 400-yard freestyle relay. Championship events record 319.24. Greater Somerset County, sold out in 2022. By each in this preliminary event, we'll start with heat number 1.
All right, there was your relay call from Bruce Griffin, our PA announcer. And welcome back. We're ready for the women's 400 freestyle relay in the preliminary round. We got Hamilton in 2, leading off with Caitlin Landers and Tessa Neri for Poconos in 3, Pan for Farmington Family in 4, Augustine for Chippewa Valley in 5, Kubiak in 6 for Ridley, and Schweikert in 7 for Countryside, Ohio. 400 freestyle relay on the women's course. So out first, that's Farmington Family. 24:38 going out for Amy Pan. Men's will be starting here momentarily. A few minutes. We'll work our way through these 5 heats on the women's side. 3 circle-seated heats, heat 3, 4, and 5. And we're 1/4 of the way through heat number 1. And that is Farmington out in 50.89. Pretty good swim right there for Amy Pan from Farmington Valley. Next up in the water are your second swimmers. It's Summers in 2, Kirby in 3, Sanders 4, Watson 5, Gold in 6, and Fisher in lane number 7. Fairly sizable lead as we push to the halfway point for Farmington Family, followed by Countryside and Chippewa Valley. Halfway through, they are Farmington at 143.41, 2-second lead over the field. 143.41. Third swimmer's in, and it'll be Dalton in 2, Kuteris in 3, Diorico in 4, Intensis in 5, Kubiak in 6, and Ketchum in 7. Now trying to make a move is Hamilton with Emerson Dalton. Also up there in lane number 5, that's Ava Intensis, trying to chase down Emmy Diorico. from Farmington. Almost 3/4 of the way through here in heat number 1 of 5 for the women's 400-yard freestyle relay preliminary event. And they're at 2:36.93 halfway through. And your anchors are in. And it is Emily Bass in 2. Kisnia Lunashina in 3. Rachel Machak in 4. Evie Arnold 5. Addison Dispo in 6. And Melanie Schweikert in 7. Still your leader, Farmington family. Here comes Chippewa Valley trying to chase them down with Evie Arnold in the water. They come in seated at 3:34.39. They should be right around that time. They will be under, and they lead us off with the 3:31.94 for Farmington family. Great swim right there. Next up on the women's side, heat number 2. And in lane number 1 for Wilton, it'll be Virginia Hastings. Lane number 2 for Rapid Area, Anna White-Cherses. And lane number 3 for Greensboro, Hadley Osborne. Lane number 4 for Westfield, Abby Biebel. Lane number 5 for Triangle, Sophie Perry. Lane number 6 for Regional Y Western Connecticut, Mia Hatsis. Lane number 7 for Wilkes-Barre, Alyssa Kelly. And lane number 8 for South Kettering, Emma Tenhenfeld. You keep your eye out. Down here in lane number 1, looks like Virginia Hastings. She's had a pretty good meet. 7th in the 4 IM, 17th in the 2 free, and 7th in the 500 free. 24:39 going out for Hastings at the 50. Right next to her was Rapid Area 24 at 67. Everybody else was above 25. So Hastings leading the way. And then over on the men's side, we have heat number 1 in the water. Going to have to pick up the pace. There is a 50.94 going out for Virginia Hastings and the Wilton Y Wahoos. Next swimmers in on the women's side, Meter in 1, McGee 2, Lee 3, Kavanaugh 4, then Zudenhout 5, that's Krishna, Peter Jonas in 6, and Kupski in 7, and Kyer in 8. Over on the men's side, 3:00:22. Piedmont holds the record set last year. Heilman, Brown, Cross, and King. Lane number 3 is Kazmark for Hagerstown. 4 is Kupski for Wilkes-Barre. 5 is Springfield with Grant Allen. And lane number 6 is Breike for Madison. In the water right now on the women's side. Meter in 1, McGee 2, Lee 3. I said that, I believe, already, yes. So now up there in lane number 5, looks like Chrissa Ben Hudensop. They are 145. Triangle 145.87. Wilton in second at 146.34. Nice swim. It's Iyer in 1, McElpain 2, Henderson 3, Oja 4, O'Keefe 5, Dorse 6, Stauffer 7, and Liebold in 8 on the women's side. On the men's side, Detweiler in 3, Healy 4, Damon 5, and Farahar in 6. And they're halfway through, being led by Springfield, Illinois. Third swimmers in now on the men's side. Casa in 3. Ekilpikov in 4. Mahoroni in 5, and Chang in 6. And now on the women's side, you got Rapid Area, 240.15. Your leader going through, 300 in. And anchors are in. Congratera in 1, Hine 2, Gill 3, Willemsen in 4, Mitchell 5, Herbert 6, Collins 7, and Tenhenfeld in 8. And on the men's side now, anchors are going in. Huang in 3, Watkins 4, Gilmore 5, and Nappy in 6. Final swimmers in on the women's side. Making their push. And it will be. Triangle going 3:32.59. Top time remains with Farmington Family. And over on the men's side, heat number 1 now finishing up. And it will be Springfield, Illinois at 3:13.15. They set the pace right there. 6 heats in total on the men's side. Over on the women's side, Ramsey in 1 for Reading. Yankee in 2 for Oshkosh. Claiborne in 3 for Lowe's. Abzarni in 4 for Monmouth. O'Leary in 5 for Cheshire. Murray in 6 for Westport Weston. Hassett in 7 for Birmingham. Spetz in 8 for Pal Crosley. And on the men's side, Wire Willie in 1 for Lima. Kress in 2 for Schneider. Estep in 3 for Chambersburg. Karahalis in 4 for Western. Green in 5 for Boyertown. Mascarinas in 6 for New Canaan. Cloud in 7 for Kennebec, and Menchhofer in 8 for Blue Ash. Westport Weston out first in a 51 on the women's side with Kate Murray. 51-33. Swimmers in. Annie Gowan 1, Deechwaller 2, Bush 3, Corral 4, Bartow 5, Gusson 6, Jansen 7, Clippard in 8, Jansen in 7, Gusson in 6, Bartow in 5. I kind of messed that up a little bit. My apologies. Westport Weston still leading, and on the men's side, we've got Ballas in 1, Littleton 2, Tasker 3, Bird 4, Carl 5, Anbar 6, Wiley 7, Gustafson in 8. Western Branch, Delaware, your leader on the men's side at 107. Finishing up now on the women's side, halfway through. Still Westport Weston at 144.47, about a second ahead of Greater Monmouth. Third swimmers in, Estensis in 1, Paschal 2, Betancourt 3, Kennedy 4, Tiernan in 5, Ivanovic in 6, Baikus in 7, and Lang in 8. .250 through on the women's side. Men will be 250 through. Heat number 2 on the men's side in the water. Heat number 3 on the women's side in the water. Leader Westport Weston still on the women's side. And on the men's side, that'll be Western Branch Delaware. They're now your leader. Anchors coming up on the women's side. Knop Snyder in 1, Hersbrunner in 2, Bellissimo 3, Bendakis 4, Potterello in 5, Bolin 6, Clifford 7, and Latimer in 8. Westport Weston still your leader, but now here comes center of the pool, Greater Monmouth. And on the men's side, we've got Welker 1, Lamb 2, Estep 3, Reading 4, Tith 5, Gurner 6, Arnold 7, and Glatt in 8. Lead for Western. There they are, 3:06.18 for Western. And Greater Monmouth goes 3:30.07. They are now your leaders, Greater Monmouth. And on the men's side, your leaders, Western Branch, at a 3:06.18 in the water. Heat number 4 of 5, second of our 3 circle seated heats. Coe in 1. Keep your eye on Angie Coe, having a great meet. Champaign County, Unruh in 2 for Boyertown. Kim in 3 for Fanwood. Scotch Plains, Truscott in 4 for Umley. Lee in 5 for Wyckoff. Schuster in 6 for Lehigh. Richards in 7 for Farmington Valley. And Francis in 8 for Woodson. And on the men's side, heat number 3 in the water. Mal in 1 for Umley. Quarterman in 2 for Boise. Berkowitz in 3 for Westport. Davis in 4 for St. Cloud. Spetz in 5 for the Tiger Sharks. 6 is Kwarwinski for Regional Y Western Connecticut. Howe in 7 for Parkersburg. Margita in 8 for Indian County. Champaign, Illinois down here in lane number 1 on the women's side, out first in 50.21. Second swimmers in on the women's side. O'Donnell in 1, Meja 2, Logan 3, Laganelli 4, Lawrence 5, Paluska in 6, Fox in 7. Blenner in lane number 8. Champaign, Illinois, your leader. St. Cloud, your leader on the men's side. On the men's side, we have Richardson 1, Shu in 2, Platinum 3, Hoyda 4, Myers 5, Godino 6, Pretty in 7, and Nunez in lane number 8. Boise now your leader on the men's side at 108.25 ahead of St. Cloud. On the women's side, halfway through it, 143.25. You still have Champaign, Illinois. Halfway through, Bradley in 1, Grimm 2, Surratt 3, Robinson 4, Rourke 5, Cudlex 6, Headley 7, and Orzek in 8. On the men's side, Boise now leading by 0.6 over the Tiger Sharks from Pal Crosley. Third swimmers in, Warner in 1, Shu 2, Ivanov 3, Waltz 4, Gibbons 5, Thompson 6, Guthrie 7, and Bauer in 8. And on the women's side, Fanwood Scotch Plains, now your leader, 208.54. Coming up on the anchor leg for the women. And it will be McAndrew 1, Green 2, Constable 3, Fulton 4, Wolf 5, Cudlex 6, Buchain 7, and Winnicki in 8. Time to beat 3:30.07. On the women's side, Greater Monmouth holds that time. Anchors away on the men's side. We've got Stoltz in 1, Edison 2, Twist 3, Hogan 4, Silverstein 5, Horan 6, Francis 7, and Kessler in 8. So on the women's side, Fanwood Scotch Plains 0.3 of a second ahead of Umley, and then followed by Wyckoff. Still coming on strong. Here comes here comes Upper Main Line with Ed Stoltz. But center of the pool, it will be Pal Crosley, your leader now. Upper Main Line, 3:27.18 on the women's side. They are now your leader on the deck, unofficially. Upper Main Line out of that second circle seated heat, followed by Lehigh and then Fanwood Scotch Plains. On the men's side, Pal Crosley, they go 3:07.02. They are your second fastest time now, behind Western Branch, Delaware. And we're staging on the men's side now. Heat number 4 up on the blocks at Vargas from Northwest North Carolina in 1. Muller in 2 for Rock River Valley. Jordan in 3 for Greater Spartanburg. McFall in 4 for Indian Valley. Edwards in 5 for Greensboro. Chang in 6 for Wyckoff. Chrissy in 7 for Emmy Lyons. And lane number 8, Blazer for Springfield Family. Over on the women's side, final heat in the water. Thomas in 1 for Piedmont. Fitzgerald in 2 for Western. Way in 3 for York. Bull in 4 for Somerset County. Dickinson in 5 for Schrader. Penny in 6 for Greater Spartanburg. Dickey in 7 for Lakeland Hills. And Sutphin in 8 for Emmy Lyons. That's Ava Sutphin. And out first on the women's side, that's Piedmont at 23.95 with Thomas. On the men's side, your leader now, Spartanburg. Out of lane number 3. That was Colin Jordan, and he was out in 45.96. Second swimmer's in. Forey in 1. Shields in 2. Turnus in 3. Allow 4. Rock 5. Lee 6. Dostal 7. And Payne in 8 on the men's side. On the women's side, finishing up at a 50.63. Piedmont's Morgan Thomas. Great swim right there. And now on the women's side, Ismailova in 1, Colburn 2, Schneider 3, Maltzy 4, Art 5, Fowler 6, Frank 7, and Studenka in 8. Now Piedmont just ahead of York, less than a second, 8/10. Schrader, you're a leader. No, I'm sorry, it's not Schrader in this, your leader here. It is Springfield, Ohio down there after Jared Payne finished up. They're in lane number 8, the bottom of the pool. Ponce de Leon in 1, Henriksen 2, Smiley 3, Lonsbury 4, Nye 5, Patrick 6, Melzer 7, and Fife in 8 on the men's side. York now your leader on the women's side at a 1:42. And we've got Smith in 1, Johnson 2, Eckert 3, Arikelian in 4, Berlin 5, Zuvalakis in 6, Hyman in 7, and Blankenship in 8. It's your third leg in for the women. 250 through. Still your leader, York. And on the men's side, Spartanburg now your leader. It's Spartanburg. Wow. That was Drew Smiley in there. Or maybe that's at your anchors in. That's Harrison 1, Taylor 2, Bacall. That's Nick Bacall in 3, Steinbach in 4, Gray in 5, Skibbo in 6, Kraft 7, and Filbert in 8. Time to beat on the men's side is 3:06. Western Delaware, and they will be just around that mark there, 3:05.56. So Spartanburg now your leader unofficially on the deck. 3:05.56 for Greater Spartanburg. And on the women's side, your anchors are in here. Mythclaw in 1, Napier 2, Pottinger 3, Thompson 4, Brostowitz 5, Wilson 6, Hobjon 7, and Luttrell in 8. 3:27.18. Time to beat. Upper main line. Out of heat number 4. And it will be, as they come to the wall, 3:26.72 for Schrader. So Schrader, Wisconsin, unofficially will hold down that top seed, but we have to wait till the official results are in. For the men, heat number 5 of 6, second of our 3 circle-seeded heats. Shiners in 1 for Woodson, McDonald in 2 for Birmingham, Eckler in 3 for Ridley, Hidalgo in 4 for York and York County, Mills in 5 for Lynchburg, Kunzel in 6 for Monmouth, Reisner in 7 for Farmington, and Zartoriski in lane number 8 for Cheshire. And Ridley out first, 45.59 with Shane Eckler. Time to beat, 3:05.56. So far is Greater Spartanburg leading the way. Meyer in 1 for Woodson, Schwab in 2, Kennedy in 3, Welker 4, Widzis in 5, Renard in 6, South 7, and Gauthier in lane number 8. And as these gentlemen work their way through, now York your leader at 1:07.16, 150 through. Here we come up on the 200 halfway mark. And then your third swimmers will be in. Second of our 3 circle-seeded heats. Top time so far, 3:05.56, Greater Spartanburg. Barwick in 1, Tack 2, Houle 3, Wade 4, Gordon 5, Wilkins 6, Rule 7, and Gauthier in 8. And it's evening up. Here comes the Ridley Rays. Jonathan Houle. So York, 3/100ths of a second over Ridley, 1.05. Greater Monmouth behind the leader. Again, 3:05.56, time to beat. Here comes Houle trying to chase down Wade. Also moving up, Bryce Wilkins had a great swim right there, but York holds a 6/10 of a second lead over Ridley. Barwick in 1, Higgins 2, Kudafaris in 3, Parker 4, Whitfield, keep your eye on Lynchburg, Whitfield in 5, Condon 6, Rusnak 7, and Booth in 8. Still York opening up a little bit more, almost 8/10 of a second, but here comes Brendan Whitfield. I told you. Closing speed for Whitfield. We'll have to check those splits out. Wow. Been on fire this week, Brendan Whitfield from Lynchburg. And there he is. 3:03.63. Whitfield on that last 50. 22.54. 3:0. My goodness. Heat 6 coming up right now. There you go. There's your lead time at a 3:03. Unbelievable on that finish. Heat number 6. Third of our 3-circle seated heats. Final heat for the men's 400 freestyle. Niston 1 for Jackson. King in 2 for Piedmont. Eyeshot in 3 for Triangle. Barnacle in 4 for Greater Somerset County. Jones in 5 for Fanwood Scotch Plains. Sullivan in 6 for Schrader. Markowitz in 7 for Lakeland Hills. And Williams in 8 for Champaign County. Your early leader, Piedmont, with David King out in 21.70. So 45.59 was your fastest split going out so far. And we are 45.45 for Piedmont and David King. That's your fastest split so far going out. Swimmer number 2 in the water, heat number 6, 400 free relay for the men. Top time 3:03 to beat Lynchburg. Ezra Herring in 1, Brown in 2, Blake 3, Iturbe Casano 4, Wable 5, Lorenz 6, Bachelor 7, and Carr in 8. Piedmont still your leader. They're at 1:06. 93. 24.48 going out. Pretty good zip there for the Piedmont swimmer. That's Will Brown. Schrader also in this. Right now it's Piedmont over Schrader by 0.28 of a second, and in Triangle 1.6 behind. Ham in 1, Wang 2, Ayers 3, Gould 4, Frank 5, Lapine 6, Johnson 7, and Miller in 8. Piedmont, then Schrader. 0.11 of a second separating them. 1.18 second behind them is Triangle. Now trying also to move up. Greater Somerset County with Garrett Gould. Will it be Schrader now, your leader? It will be. Schrader up by 0.04 of a second over Piedmont. Anchors in. Vickers in 1, Moore in 2, Paleocrassus in 3, Alexi 4, Kavanaugh 5, Strath 6, Kilponian in 7, and Miller in 8. Here comes lane 3. Yoda. Here comes Greater Somerset County with Alexi. Tightening up. Look at this in your final heat. Trying to go under 3:03. Not sure whether they're going to get there. And it will be. Look at that. Greater Somerset County comes all the way back with Rob Alexi. They go 3:03.60. Great swim right there. We'll have those official results momentarily. We're going to take about a 15-minute break on this course, and then we will go with our 1650s. Great job by our relay swimmers as usual. I know the women's 1650s will be 2 heats this afternoon. On the men's side, there will be 4 heats. I think he said 11:12 will be the start time on the men's side, so we'll keep an eye on that. Our time is, that'll be 11:12 for the men's start of heat number 2. So we'll see that momentarily. We're going to take a quick break. The women's side will be starting, I'm not sure, but they'll be starting sooner than the men. So once again, thanks for tuning in and watching this morning's final day of prelims here And I hope you stick with us as we try to work ourselves through the mile on the men's and the women's side. We'll try to keep track of where those swimmers are on these courses. But we'll have those results. Keep an eye on Meet Mobile or the YMCA website, Swimming and Diving. We will have those results posted for you momentarily. So we're taking a little bit of a distance break here before we get into those heats. Once again, my name is Bob McDowell. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you continue to watch and be back here tonight. Definitely be back here tonight for our final night. And we will be starting our swimming at 5:15, but I urge you to join us at 5 o'clock for the devotions, the answer, and the Coach of the Meet Award will be given out tonight. So if you're signing off now, see you later tonight. I'm Bob McDowell, and this is Take It Live, the 2023 YMCA Short Course Nationals Centennial Year from Greensboro, North Carolina. And here we go. We're getting ready on the women's course for the couple of heats of the mile. Your national and championship meet record, 16:04.69, set by the legendary Danielle Valley from Sarasota, Florida, back in 2013. That was, I think, the first year we were here in Greensboro. Might have been the second year, but we do recall that. So heat number 2 is staging right now. I think they've got the names of heat. There it is. There's heat 2 now on the screen. We've got Adriana Sutphin, 20th in the 1,000. She's 14 years old, from Emmy Lyons, is in lane number 1. Catherine Simpson was 25th in the 1,000, 26th in the 500. From Metropolitan Hickory, North Carolina, coached by John Jolly. Lane number 3, Kirsten Deechwheeler, 7th in the 1,000, 12th in the 500 this week, also 14 years old, from Oshkosh. Bridget Davis, 9th last year in this event. Keep our eye on her times as she moves through here. See where Bridget Davis times are. And then she was 13th in the 50 in the 500 this week, 27th in the 1,000 from Fanwood Scotch Plains. Julia Bardo, 8th in the 4 IM, 13th in the 2 back from Cheshire, also 3rd in the 500. She's in lane number 5. Catherine Carboni, 12th last year, 23rd in the 1,000 this week from Regional Y Western Connecticut's in 6th. Katie Pestricelli, 13th in the 1,000, 21st in the 500. Greater Somerset County's in 7. And Aileen Walsh, 29th in the 1,000, 15 years old from York and York County. So that's your lineup as we work our way through this mile. Coming up on the 200 mark. And your early leader is Kirsten Deechwheeler. And then Bridget Davis in 2nd. Deechwheeler out in 2:01.08. Davis only 7/800ths of a second behind her. Davis at 2:01.86. She was 2:02.01 last year during this event. We know that Davis finished 9th last year. Deechwheeler, 7th in the 1,000 and 12th in the 500 as a 14-year-old. Kirsten Deechwheeler having a great meet. She's from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, with a 1-second lead over Davis. And then Catherine Simpson, another Hickory swimmer. Coach John Jolly, the infamous John Jolly, a great distance coach. The likes of Ross Dant coming out of Hickory. And Sava Turkurnu. Sava also his sister. I'll think of her name in a minute. Maybe not. But they all had some great distance heritage there coming out of Hickory. And even one year they won. I think they won long course out in Indy one year. So Kirsten Dietzweiler, 31.28 on that last 50. Bridget Davis in second, and Catherine Simpson in third. Davis was at 3:36.37, just below her swim from last year. She was 7:13 last year, finishing ninth. Good swims going on also by Julia Bartow. Those are your top four: Davis, Bartow, Simpson, following Dietzweiler, and then Sutphin. We're staging over on the men's side. Championship and national record, 14:46.20. Legendary Ross Dant from Hickory, North Carolina. I mentioned him a moment ago. This will be heat number 2. And Maddox Turness will be in lane number 1. He was 10th in the 1,000, 21st in the 500 this week from Greater Spartanburg, 15 years old. Jake Pravat, 27th in the 500 from Greater Spartanburg. Lane number 3 is Anthony Garano, 17th last year, 17th in the 1,000 this week, Piedmont. Nathan Spetz, 8th last year, 6th in the 1,000, 13th in the 500 from the Powell Crosley Jr. Tiger Sharks. Lane number 5 is Peter Smelzer, 14th in the 1,000, 22nd in the 4IM this week from Emmy Lyons. Lincoln Council is in lane number 6, 18th in the 1,000, 28th in the 500. 15 years old from Greater Spartanburg. Ethan Shutton, 20th in the 1,000, 15 years old from Schrader. And Will Charlton, 26th in the 1,000, 14 years old from Piedmont. That's your field for the 1650 on the men's side. Garano was 17th last year. And Spetz was 8th last year. So we'll keep our eye on those two guys as far as where they are this year in this swim. And over on the women's side, very even right now as they work their way through. Dietzweiler still in first, Davis second, Bardo in third. Dietzweiler just ahead of Davis by 5/100ths and about 3/10 ahead of Bardo. And Davis was at 6:44.88 last year, just on her time from last year. So where she finished 9th. And over on the men's side, Pravat at 1:24.93, Garano at 1:25.02. Garano about a second ahead of where he was. Nathan Spetz now your leader at 1:54.33. Spetz was 8th last year. And he was out in 1:54.33. So right on his time from last year. Now moving up, Julia Bartow. The Cheshire Wise Sea Dogs overtaking Davis and Dietzweiler. Simpson now in third. Charlton up there in lane number or down here in lane number 8 is your leader on the men's side. It is lane number 1 at the bottom of your screen on the women's course, lane number 8 up top. And on the men's side, it is lane number 1 up top of your screen. At the top of your screen, lane number 8 at the bottom. So Bartow, your leader, and we'll be halfway through right here. So 66 lengths. Gives you a 1650 at the halfway through mark. And on the men's side, we are 300 through with Will Charlton just ahead of Scutton, and then Spets at 322. Right on his time from last year. Verano is about 5 seconds ahead of his time from last year. There's 2 guys in here who swam this event last year. Still Bartow now opening up a little bit over Davis and Deachwiller and Simpson. But here, Davis is still hanging in there. Pretty good swim. They'll be coming up, I believe, on the 1,000 mark. Not on this 50, but the next 50. Charlton, Spets, Smelzer, Garano. They're all in it. You can see they're bunched up a bit here from lane number 8 here down at the bottom of your screen on the men's side. Davis still second, following Bartow, and then Deachwiller on the women's side. Will be coming up on the 1,000 mark. We'll see what their 1,000 times are. So Bartow's 1,000 time is 10:23.72, and Davis at 10:23.82. Men through 500, and your leader there was Will Charlton at 4:51.01. Davis a little bit faster than she was last year. She was 10:24 last year, 10:23 this year. Now Davis, your leader. And she split there. 30.99. Pretty good split going out on that last 50. Guys are bunched up here. Spets, 9/100ths over Charlton, 3600ths over Smelzer, 7300ths of a second over Garano. Spets at 5:49. He was 5:51.5 last year. A little bit better swim. We'll see what these guys can do as they strive for the 1,000 now. On the women's side, we were 1,100 through, and we'll be about 500 to remain here once we get to through and the feet hit the pads down at this end. So 500 remains. Davis now trailing Cheshire's Bartow by almost 4/10 of a second. Bartow splitting 30.80 on that last 50, trying to pull away a little bit here in this last 500. Spets at 6:48.79. Nathan Spets finished eighth last year. He's about 2.5 seconds ahead of his pace from last year. So Spets finished up last year at 16:10. I'm sure all these guys want to go below that 16. And that's a little bit, well, you never know. You never know what he's going to have left here as these gentlemen work their way through. They're right now 30 lengths through on the men's side. Spets at 7:18.64. Not much between he and Schmelzer from Emmy Lyons, Spets from Pal Crosley. Bartow now a second and a half ahead of Bridget Davis. So those two have pulled away from the pack. Dietrich in third, Simpson fourth, Sutphin fifth in this heat. And on the men's side, they are 32 lengths. Spets still your leader, center of the pool, followed by Schmelzer, and then up there, down here in lane number 8, Will Charlton. And Charlton is 14 years old from Piedmont, so 2200ths of a second ahead now for Spets. He's at 8:17.87. About 3 seconds ahead of his pace from last year. Bartow now 14 lengths to go ahead of Davis. Davis right on her time from last year. Her time last year was 17:13.72, where she finished 9th. Bartow having a good last 500. Really took off at the 1100 mark for Julia Bartow. Spets still your leader. Schmelzer second. Charlton in third on the men's side. 2 lengths to go till they get to the 1000. Julia Bartow. She's going to have a 200 to go when she hits this wall. And the men coming up on the 1000. Spets, look at Shutton coming up now. My goodness, from Shutton, Ethan Shutton now moving up from Schrader's, a 15-year-old down here in lane number 2. So Spets in 9:46.59 through the 1000. Yep, about 4.2 seconds ahead of his time from last year. Bartow having a great swim. 1:50 to go. Now pulling well ahead of Davis and the rest of the field. Bartow's going to try to get into that top 8 time. A score in that top 8 would be awesome for the Cheshire Y Sea Dogs and Sean Farrell. All right, she'll have 4 to go, 100. She's at 16:04.81. Julia Bartow. She comes in at 17:14.40. She should be well below that time tonight, or this morning. What am I saying, tonight? And these gentlemen working their way through. $1,100 so far. We'll have 500 to go when there they are, 500 to go right now on the men's side. Bartow won this last 50. She was 30.8 on that last 50. Julia Bartow, look at this. Comes into 17:14. She'll be well below that. She'll be well below 7:10. She'll be in that 7:05 range. She is 17:05 for Julia Bartow. My goodness, great swim for the Cheshire Y Sea Dog. 17:05. I'm sorry, 17:05.64 for Bartow. Nice swim right there. Great job. And Bridges Davis comes in 17:14.18 for Davis. But your time to beat so far, 17:05 for Julia Bartow. On the women's side, they'll be staging heat number 3 momentarily as the field finishes up. And over on the men's side now, out of lane number 4, Nathan Spetz. Now well ahead of this field. Over Smelzer by 3.75 seconds at this point. So Spetz, he's 12:38.84. He was 12:49.45, so about 11 seconds ahead of his time from last year. He is going to go under the 16. He should be under the 16-minute mark, which would be a big, big, big time swim for Mike Leonard's Tiger Shark. Nathan Spetz, Cincinnati, Ohio. And on the women's side, we'll have 10 lengths to go on the men's side. There's a 300 to go over there. On the women's side, in the water right now, heat 3 of 3. Lane number 1 is Esme O'Neill, 36th in the 1,000 from Greensboro, 14 years old. Bryn Lewis, 31st in the 2 breast, 14 years old from Phoenixville. Lane number 3 is Maggie Rutledge, 37th in the 500 from Regional Y, Western Connecticut. Lane number 4 is Chelsea Burkhart, 32nd in the 1,000 from Foothills area. Lane number 5, Bridget Rinkowitz, 17th last year, 34th in the 1,000 from Lakeland Hills. Molly Foltz is in 6th, 31st in the 1,000 from Upper Mainline. Tiffany Falcomer, 33rd in 2IM this week from York and York Counties in 7. And lane number 8, Megan Gangaway, 23rd in the 500 free from Laurel, East Hartford. And there's Megan up there, out to an early lead. But let's follow here Nathan Spetz, see if he can get under that 16 mark. That's what he's shooting for. 150 to go for Spetz. He's at 14:33.32, holding 28 lows as he works his way through this final 150. It was 14:46. My goodness, he'll be well below that time from last year. Great swim with 100 to go. 100 to go for Spetz. And Pravada's now moved up. He's at 15:09.08 into second place. He's in lane number 2. Up there in 2, you can see at the top of your screen. So we'll have 50 to go here. Bell lap for Nathan Spetz. 27.84 there. Going to make a move. He's going to be in that mid 1550 mark if he can keep it going. A lot of energy. Fans, everybody's on their feet from his team up there. You can see him jumping up and down. Here comes Nathan Spetz putting himself in that big scoring round. He goes 15:56.00. He's going to see that time. He'll be happy. Coaches will be happy. Pravad comes in at 16:03.20, and Smelzer finishes up at 16:05.40. Nice swim right there. Nice job for those gentlemen in having that 15:56.00. How about that? For Nathan Spetz, who finished 8th last year. Wouldn't quite put him in that top 8 seed times of this year, but he'll be right in the mix, in the top 12 at least, as it's seeded right now. And here we are back over on the women's side. Megan Gangaway up there in lane number 8. You can see her working her way through, coming up. She's 16 lengths through, so that's 400 in at 4:13.13. 23rd in the 50 free, or in the 50 free, in the 500 free. She probably was, she was swimming the 50 free, but she's a great swimmer from Lehigh, coached by Kaylee Stanegger. Steinagel up there in Hartford, Connecticut. All right, let's set the field here for the men's Heat 3 mile. Out of lane number 1, 32nd in the 1,000 from Powell Crosley Jr., Nick Stroh. Lane number 2 is Cody Lonsbury, 5th in the 1,000, 14th in the 500 from Indian Valley. He's 15 years old. Lane number 3, Will Hines, 21st in the 1,000 from Fanwood Scotch Plains. Lane number 4 is Nick Bacall. He was 11th in the 1,000, 17th in the 4IM, 12th in the 500 from Greater Spartanburg. Michael Adams from the Wilton Wahoos. He was 24th in the 1,000, his top finish this week. Lane number 6, Will Pestricelli, 12th last year, 28th in the 1,000 from Greater Somerset County. Lane number 7 is Chase Shapiro, 25th in the 1,000 from Weston, Connecticut. And Nick Volkov will hold down lane number 8. He was 35th in the 1,000 from Greater Monmouth. There's your field. Over on the men's side, they are 200 through. Cody Lonsbury at 150.80. And he's followed by Will Pestricelli and then Will Hines. And Gangaway still your leader. She's through 22 lengths. Mr. 500 time I did, but I'm sure it was looking pretty good for Megan Gangaway, followed by Chelsea Burkhart in the center of the pool. Burkhart from Foothills, 32nd in the 1,000. And then Maggie Rutledge from Regional Wire, Western Connecticut, 37th in the 500 this week. So the guys through 250. Still Lonsbury, Petrocelli, and then Hines. Petrocelli from Greater Somerset County. Will Hines from Fanwood Scotch Plains, and Cody Lonsbury from Indian Valley Y up in the Hartford area of Connecticut. Gangaway, 33.03 on that last split. Trying to move up. Rutledge, she and Burkhart were both in the 32s on that last split. On the women's side, still Lonsbury on the men's side. Trying to pull away a little bit through 400. Cody was 3:45.67. Will Hines now in second. Cody going through the 450 at 4:14.66, holding the 28s. Only guy under 29. He was 28.99, so 1/100th. And on the women's side, starting to even up again. Maggie Rutledge working her way through. She's out in the 32s, as is Chelsea Burkhart. And then Molly Foltz trying to chase down Gangaway, who got off in a big lead there. Trying to keep my eye on these top three. Rutledge now your leader by over Foltz and Gangaway. And Lonsbury through the 500. He's 4:43.68. Hines 4:48.33. And Petrocelli 4:49.08. Those are your top three out of heat number 3 on the men's mile. And on the women's side, Maggie Rutledge, followed by Molly Foltz, and then Megan Gangaway. They'll have 30 lengths to go when they get to this turn end down here by the starting blocks. Just over 1/3 of the way through, Cody Lonsbury. still your leader. About 5 seconds over the field. Will Hines second, Petrocelli in third. I mentioned Lonsbury 5th in the 1,000 the other night, 14th in the 500 this week. Will Hines 21st in the 1,000 this week, and Petrocelli was 12th in this event last year. Let's see how Will's making out so far in this event versus last year. Take a quick peek at his times. Maggie Rutledge and Molly Fultz and Megan Gangway, your top three on the women's side. So Petrocelli through 28 lengths. Yep, he was 6:49 last year, 6:48 this year. So he's a little bit ahead of his pace from last year's swim. And back over on the women's side, 1,000 through for Maggie Rutledge at 10:44.22. She's 1,050 now. 600 to go for Maggie Rutledge, followed by Molly Fultz. $800 through for Cody Lonsbury. Lonsbury, one of the up-and-comers, 15 years old. We saw him last year at short course. I believe he was 14 there. Doing quite well, getting back in some final heats. He's into the D finals. He was 15 and under finals back last summer. And Lonsbury really pulling away from the field here. About a 7-second lead over Will Hines and then Nick Bracall. Tightening up between Fultz from Upper Main Line and Maggie Rutledge from the Regional Y of Western Connecticut. As these ladies have a 450 to go right now. Only 2 100 separating Rutsch and Fultz. Lonsbury having a big swim. Trying to chase down Nathan Spetz's 15:56. 00 coming out of the previous heat. I'll tell you what, he's got a shot for Cody Lonsbury. And then on the women's side, we're 50 through, so we've got 400 to go. Men's side, through the 1,000, Lonsbury was 9:33.13. Well ahead of where Spetz was. Spetz was 9:46, I believe, through that 1,000. So Cody Lonsbury really having a huge, huge swim here on the men's side. 24 lengths to go. On the men's side, on the women's side, we'll have a 300 to go. And it's Fultz now, 2/2100ths ahead of Rutledge. In third, Gangaway up there in lane number 8. But up there in lane number 2 on the men's side. 500 to go. 20 lengths for Cody Lonsbury. He could be down in the 1540s. Top seed coming in, David King. We'll see him later tonight. It's 15:02. That's a 15-second lead over Isaac Flagg, a winner of 1,000 as we look ahead to tonight. Cody Lonsbury could have done, I believe. We'll see where he finishes up here. But there's Fultz still leading. Fultz now trying to pull away from Rutledge. She's at 31.76. Cody Lonsbury holding the low 28s here. Nick Brakal was 28.9 on that last 50. So 400 to go on the men's side. And on the women's side, 150 to go. Molly Fultz from the upper main line Y. Time to beat 17:05.64. Julia Bartow. Bridget Davis was 17:14. $100 to go for Molly Fultz. Maggie Rutledge. And then over on the men's side, Cody Lonsbury, 300 to go. Less than 300. He popped up over into 29 right now, 29.07. He's got to kick it in here. Bell lap. Molly Fultz. Having a good swim for Molly. Trying to get in that top 16. We'll find out later with the results of those finals. Here she comes. She'll be 17:39. Great swim right there for Molly Fultz. She goes 17:39. Big drop for her. 17:39.23. Followed up by Maggie Rutledge at 17:43.16. Rutledge also with about a 3-second drop. 17-second drop for Molly Fultz. And on the men's side, Lonsbury back down on the below 29s. He's got 150, less than 150 to go. So there you can see Gangaway finish up in third at 18:00.35. Her best time. So those were your top three. And that'll conclude the women's mile. We'll be able to stay focused on the men's side tonight. That top heat, seeded heat, will be swimming in our first event. Here comes Cody Lonsbury with less than 100 to go. He'll be taking the bell. He's back down in that 28.72, 14:51.05. 15:19. He can put in a 27. He'll be in that 15:45, 46 mark, 47 mark. But here he goes. I can see him moving. He's accelerating now. Cody Lonsbury, followed by Nick Brakal, and then Will Hines. But here comes Lonsbury. Can he get to that 15:45? And he does. He goes 15:45.30 for Cody Lonsbury, 15 years old. out of Indian Valley YMCA up in Hartford, Connecticut. At 15:45, let me tell you, that would put him in the seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed. Great swim right there. So Cody Lonsbury, 15:45.30, followed by Nick Bacall to 15:59.20. And then third, 16:08, Will Hines, 40. Nice swim right there. And there they are. There's your final totals. That was the previous heat. We'll switch them over here momentarily. There they are. Cody Lonsbury. Nick Bacall goes sub 16 also. Next up, heat number 4 of 5. Men's mile, the 1,650-yard freestyle. And in the water, lane number 1, 14 years old from Upper Palmetto. Jack McCrae was 29th in the 1,000 this week. A.J. Farner, he's in lane number 2, 16th in the 1,000, 25th in the 4 IM this week. He's 15 from Birmingham. Lane number 3 is Campbell McFall, 38th in the 500 from Indian Valley. Will Trotman from the Wilton Y Wahoos. He was 31st in the 1,000. He's in lane number 4. Lane number 5 is Alex Burkhart, 36th in the 1,000 from Foothills area. Lane number 6, Bennett Harris, 22nd in the 1,000 this week from Triangle area. And lane number 7, Evan Harrison, 30th in the 1,000 from Schrader. That's your field. It's like a swim-off going on the women's side. I don't have the paperwork on that, but it is the 2-fly swim-off. See if I can pull up something here to don't have any paperwork. That's Fox and Freeman. Fox and Mumley, Freeman from Greater Monmouth. And over on the men's side, that's Campbell McFall through the 150 on the 1650, followed by Bennett Harris and then A.J. Farner. Pretty good swim off going on. Maddie Fox from Umley, Maya Freeman from Greater Monmouth. And on the men's side, your 1650 evening up a little bit as they push through the 250 mark. 1,400 to go. And there you go, Maddie Fox. She goes 2:06.89. Not quite sure exactly what that was for, but the parents watching, or if you're here in the stands, you know what that's all about. So, but pretty good time right there, Maddie Fox and Maya Freeman swimming that 200, or maybe another swim tonight or an alternate position at least. And we'll get back over on the men's side, 300 through. A.J. Farner, you're a leader. Use at 2:52.68. So Farner's still your leader, coming up on the 500 mark. He's holding the high 29s right here. Being followed by Bennett Harris from Yoda, Farner from Birmingham, and then McFall from Indian Valley. Campbell McFall. 451.49 for AJ Farner. 452.69 for Bennett Harris, and then Campbell McFall for 52.86. So under those are your top three through the 500. Now 550 through. 1,100 to go. That's if my math is correct. Still holding the 29 for AJ Farner. Campbell McFall, 29.46 on that last 50. Time to beat so far in these late morning miles. 15:45 by Cody Lonsbury out of heat number 3. But in the water right now, heat number 4, working their way through is AJ Farner. Up there in lane number 2. Lane number 1 at the top of your screen, lane number 8 at the bottom. 7 swimmers in this heat. McFall now moving in the second. Tied with Bennett Harris. Here's the 400 mark. And we'll be halfway through when they hit this turn wall down here. So it looks like it's early on. AJ Farner, Bennett Harris out of lane number 6 in Yoda. Down here. You can see him just going by. Lane number 7 is Evan Harrison. Lane number 4 is Will Trotman. Wahoos. Lawrence Burkhart is in lane number 5 from Foothills. So they are half there. Coming up on the 36 length of 30 lengths to go here in this heat number 4. One more heat after this for the guys. $400 through. I'm sorry. No, 900 through. My apologies. Bennett Harris still in second. McFall in third. But AJ Farner up there in lane number 2. Make it a good push. 9:18.37. 9:50 through. Got a 4-second lead. 3-second lead over Harris and almost 4 seconds over McFall. So Farner pushes through the 1,000 at 9:47.54. 9:47.94 for A.J. Farner. And Spets was 9:46.59. He had a pretty good back half going through there. 650 left. Give you an idea where that was. Nathan Spets 9:46. So A.J. Farner not far off of where Nathan was. .500 to go, less than 500 to go. Farner holding 29s. Harrison in the 29s also out down here in lane number 7. As is Bennett Harris in lane number 6. A.J. Farner 29.55. Harrison a little bit up on these last 250s, last hundreds by about 0.4. So pretty good swim going on there. So a 500 to go, less than 500. We're coming up on the 450 mark as these guys move through. Again, top time 15:45.30. The next fastest time, I think, was 15:56, and that was Spets. Well, Farner with 400 to go. Harrison about 3 seconds, 3.2 seconds lead over Evan Harrison now, down in lane number 7 from Schrader, Wisconsin, just passing Bennett Harris. Nudges ahead of him. These guys have been together basically the whole race down here in lane 6 and 7, looking at each other over the rope. A.J. Farner. Right there in lane number 2 from Birmingham. Family YMCA, Birmingham, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. So 250 to go for A.J. Farner. A 2.64 second lead over Evan Harrison from Schrader, but he's trying to move up. Evan Harrison's been edging up over the last 150. They're both in the 29 range, as is Bennett Harris. High 29s, mid 29s. .200 to go, less than 200. Keep your eye here on Evan Harrison down here in lane number 7. He's making a charge. Picked up 2/2200ths of a second on that last 50. 150 to go here as these gentlemen will turn for Farner And then Harrison, and then Harris. Varner picked up a little bit of pace there, so it could be safe if he can get through this last 125 on pace. So 15:30 with, 15:13, 100 to go. Varner picking it up now. He's accelerating the last 100. He's going to have 50 to go. He'll be in that, trying to get below that 16:10 mark. If he can, he's got to make a push. He's got to be below 29 for A.J. Varner to get below that 16:10 mark. He comes in at 16:32. Here he comes. And he will be 16:09.17 for A.J. Varner out of lane number 2. 16:09, good swim. Not sure whether that'll put him in the scoring position, but a good job there. He's followed by Harrison at 16:13.82. Then Bennett Harris at 16:16.37, and Campbell McFall pulls in at a 16:22.37, and Trotman at 16. Trotman's still coming in. And it will be McCray and then Trotman. Nice swim for those guys. Out of heat number 4, led by A.J. Varner. Next up, we'll have 3 swimmers in. Final heat of the morning session in the mile. And those swimmers are out of lane number 3, Ethan Dunlaney from Youngstown YMCA. Lane number 4 is Mason Duggins, 34th in the 1,000. He's 14 years old from Greensboro. And in lane number 5, Cam Wright, 16 years old from Greater Spartanburg. We'll keep our eye on these 3 gentlemen as they work their way through the mile. And there these guys are working their way through. It's Mason Duggins early leader. 10 lengths through, only, what, how many left? 56 left, that's okay. Duggins, 225.72 through the 250 mark. So we had 1,400 yards to go for these guys. Less than that right now. Ethan Dunlaney in second and Cam Wright in third. Greater Somerset County for Mason Duggins. And they're 300 through. Well, these gentlemen working their way through. This is a lot of training, a lot of hard work goes in for the training year to reach this peak here at Y Summer Nats, or the Y Short Course Nats, is your basically usually a second step. The long course meet, if you're swimming Y, if you can get to that long course meet end of July back here in Greensboro, that's an awesome meet. But usually you see a lot of the younger swimmers coming through. We know that Duggins is 14 and he's local here in Greensboro, but big step for him making an appearance here in the mile along with Dunlaney and Wright in this heat. So much training goes into these distance swimmers. Duggins swam the 1,000, he finished 34th the other night, but gaining a lot of experience here in Greensboro at the Aquatic Center for our 2023 YMCA Short Course Nationals. 100 years we've held this meet. So we celebrated that this week. Plenty of Olympians here. Rowdy was in with me the other night on Tuesday night. Huge crowd, a couple thousand spectators. Good crowd this morning. Basically the stands were filled, and you know, just having a great week here in Greensboro. So you know, we'll work these guys through. Coming up on the 500 mark is Mason Duggins and Ethan Dunlaney and Cam Wright. So 500 through, he's 4:58.06. Mason is, and only 46 lengths to go. And down here we'll have 1,100 to go, 100 yards. So these guys working their way through. Each swimmer has a little different style, pace. Basically zero kick there for Mason. Not using his legs at all. He may be reserving them for the back half. We've got, looks like a 4 beat maybe, 1, 2, 3, 4 per stroke cycle for Dunlaney. He's up there in lane 3. And Cam Wright looks like he's got a 6 beat going. And for Duggins, he might have a 2 beat. 1, 2, 1, 2 as he goes through that stroke cycle. Right now he is holding 30s on his splits of the 50s. So we'll have 40 lengths to go. That's 1,000 to go for Mason Duggins and Ethan Dunlaney and Cam Wright. Some freestylers, they like to breathe on both sides and even things out, but most of our freestylers, distance freestylers, will swim with and choose that one side to breathe on. All 3 of these guys are breathing to one side. The 2-sided breathing sometimes comes in maybe the 500. Maybe they're taking a peek at what's going on around them. If they can see over those lane lines, sometimes in a shorter sprint type race like the 500. We call it a distance race, but becoming more and more of a sprint race for these athletes. So Duggan's through 30 lengths. He's still holding the mid-30s, and Wright and Dunlaney are in that mid-31, so he's stretching it out a bit. He's got that 2-beater going, and 4-beat kick for Dunlaney. And Wright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. He's probably got a little more pronounced 4-beat kick, or might be 6 through that cycle. I'm looking at it as you are from home. And once again, thanks for joining us on this live stream. Take It Live does a wonderful job of covering all the events with the cameramen on the deck, up in the stands, the cameras up in the bleachers, what you're viewing right now. And still mid-30 points. They're about the same right now. Edging up a little by little for this Greensboro Mason Grayson swimmer, Mason Duggins. Greensboro YMCA, great YMCA. Rhonda, their CEO, was here the other night to welcome us on behalf of the city of Greensboro and the Greensboro Y. We had our YUSA CEO, Suzanne McCormick, here. We had some great devotions this week. Really, really heartfelt, meaningful, devotions given by our athletes, and Jamie Bloom, Yoda coach, got up, and she really did a great job recognizing this week being Passover. It's an Easter week, and she did a wonderful job of recognizing that, and for all of our athletes and our spectators. So we always have that wonderful time of a devotion before each session gets started. And Bruce does a great job of introducing that, and giving out a lot of awards this week, as usual. And there's recognition. One more award was Coach of the Meet, and that's voted on by the peers here at the meet. So 1,000 through for Duggan. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. I was just calling Mason at this point. 10:04.13. That's not bad. Still mid-30s. He was 30.63 on that last 50. And right in at 10:19.44, and Ethan Dunlaney at 10:11.56. So coming up on the 10:50 mark, there'll be 500 yards to go, so 20 lengths to go. Actually, a little bit more than that. What am I saying? It's not 20 lengths, 24 lengths to go. So it'll be there'll be 600 to go after that turn. So anyway, Mason Duggins coming through, still holding those mid-30s. This final heat of the men's mile. .22 lengths to go. So we'll have 500 to go after he hits the wall down on the starting block end. On the women's side on American distance swimming, really has been held together by Katie Ledecky. Nick Fink on the men's side, been doing an incredible job. So Mason still holding the 30s. 30.8 on that last 50. Ethan Dunleavy. Making the turn up there in lane number 3, but Mason Duggins is your leader out of lane number 4. Still not using a whole lot of leg action. Try to get the camera back on the leader. There he is with the white cap coming up in lane number 4. That is your leader. Lane number 3 is in second right now. That's Ethan Dunleavy. There he is. Keep that camera on that swimmer going toward the block end. All righty. So here comes Mason Duggins. You can see him with the white cap there. And he'll be making the turn. There he is right there. And that's Duggins. He's got 150 to go. Maybe getting a little bit more kick in. We'll see what he does on the last 100 or the last 50, how much leg he has into this swim. Just his style, though, at this point. He'll work on that in practices. He'll be doing some more kicking, I'm sure, as he works his way through this final 100 for Duggins. "14 years old. Having a real good swim. And he'll take the bell from our Olympic start. And that's something. That's great. We would love to have Cecil down here with us in Greensboro working our meet. So Duggins, let's see if you get below that 6. There, see, there's the legs. You can see it. It's something. He goes 16:37. He came in with 16:47 time. He goes 16:37.73. So I'm sure Mason, with a lot of good coaching down here in Greensboro, he'll be working through that, and we will see him back year after year as he's only 14 years old. With those strong legs finishing up, and you have Ethan Dunleavy. He pulls in at a 17:52. Nice swim right there. And a 17:14 for Cam Wright. So that concludes our morning session. Once again, thanks for watching. We'll be back here tonight. Please tune in at about 5 p.m. or a little bit sooner, because we'll start with our Coach of the Meet Award right after our devotions and national anthem. So about 4:50, try to tune back in here on Take It Live for our final session of our 2023 YMCA Short Course Nationals. I'm Bob McDowell signing off for the afternoon, and we'll see you back here tonight.